Hello and welcome to Trish Rock Inspires podcast. This is the first one of 2022. So it's podcast one, series 4 we are up to. So very exciting. Today's topic is escape from the physical human experience. Today I want to have a conversation about escaping our human experience. I think we can honestly all say that there were times, especially over the past 2 years, but times across our whole lives, where we just wanted to throw in the towel. It all gets too hard. We just want to hibernate until the winter passes, right? I know I have. And, there's been many days of saying to myself, like, what's the point? What's it all for? Why bother with all the effort? Who gives a fuck about it anyway, right? And I think that's been more intense this last couple of years in particular, 2021 in particular for me. But it was on those days that I really just did feel into that, and I was more kind to myself, and I really had to nurture myself a little bit more so that I could move past those feelings. Do you have days like this too? Maybe you still do, right? Maybe you had plenty of them over the last couple of years, and maybe you're in a day like that today, right? What's it all for? So something I've become aware of and really have a new understanding and perception of is the role of our physical experience in our spiritual experience. Both are equally as important. So many people believe, as I once did, that we are a spiritual being trapped in a human being. Beautiful soul trapped in a dirty old meat suit, right? And unfortunately, that perception keeps us separated, because from this point of view, it's very difficult to love anything about this experience. Do you agree? It's it's a case of trying to escape and escape this awful human experience to live in the beautiful Zen, woo-woo world where everything's beautiful and love and peace and light. Yeah. And we think we feel more connected there and at peace. But the trouble is, we're always separated, because we're separating our spiritual part of ourselves from the physical part. And we're here, it's a team effort. We're here, that's our wholeness. And so to only focus on one and discard the other as not being useful in any way, it just keeps us separate as the whole being that we are. And that misalignment will show up for you. You'll feel it. You'll see, you'll feel and see that there is something missing, there's something missing. And your soul needs the experience of this human personality and the existence of this to expand itself. Without it, as I said, you can feel separated, you will feel separated, or you may feel that you're not separated, right, and just work harder on your spiritual practices because you think there's something wrong in that area. And your emotions, your experiences, your suffering, your pain, your heaven, your hell are all a part of your expansion and why you are incarnated here. That's what makes you whole. To escape from the pain, the suffering, and the emotions that do not feel good, and that we want to ignore in our current life, we find something to escape in. We delve into past lives and find an escape there to perhaps another time where we were having a good feeling life, right? We create addictions that numb everything about our physical experience, so we don't have to feel it. We bury ourselves in clutter and overwhelm, so we don't have to look at ourselves. We're in that fight or flight all the time, not coping, but then creating other things to stay in that not coping zone, so that there's some type of escape from it, because we don't want to look at it. We want to hibernate. I have done all of this and more over the years, especially addictions to all sorts of things. And, that escapism started for me when I was 11. Probably started before that, when I created the story about why I needed to escape when I was 1 or 2. But I created that in the physical life as far as addictions go from the age of 11, with cigarettes and drugs and alcohol. And, it's taken me a lot of years to understand the story that I created, which then led me to wanting to escape this physical experience because I didn't like the feeling of the story. And, just being focused on always the next thing. What's the next thing? And even in recent years, when I really have, turned to my spiritual gifts and really started building up and practicing that and gaining knowledge and all the rest of it, that becomes a bit of an addiction too, and a bit of a place where you can escape. Always being focused on the next thing that I can learn or hide in. But as I said, no matter how much I learned and how many courses I took, or how good I became at any of my intuitive practices or gifts, things didn't change in my life. And I would still continue to escape through my addictions, and through that separating myself, hibernating the physical part and, living in the spiritual. But it was never aligned. It was never aligned. Something always felt off. And why? Because I wasn't living life as a whole being. The separation of myself kept me out of alignment and out of fully experiencing life, right? When we are energy, source, love, all it is, we cannot experience life this way before we manifest into a physical being, whether it's on this planet at this time or other planets, or this planet at a different time, whenever. Time is fluid. We do so that we can expand. Our soul can expand, our spirit. We can experience something that expands us. And it's the contrast in this physical life that expands us the fastest. If we're living in a world where we want to, in our own little world, our own story, where we want to escape that, then we're not expanding and we're not growing, and we will feel out of alignment. Our soul will be calling us to come back together. So, we exist across all dimensions. As I said, time's fluid. We exist across all dimensions, living thousands of different lives in so many different ways. And all of those experiences have expanded us in some way. they've also shown us how disconnected we are when we try to escape the experience. This 3D life that we're called to at this time is really the gateway for an experience of expression into greater consciousness, higher frequencies, and the attributes and the knowledge and the vibrations of the higher dimensions. And a beautiful man that I listen to on YouTube is Matthias De Stefano, and he says that if you don't enjoy this 3D experience, you will never expand into the greater dimensions. So isn't that interesting? A lot of us want to expand up into the 4th, 5th, 6th dimensions and higher so that we can escape this one. But it doesn't work that way. We need to embrace this one to move up. Something to think about. So what if, I want to ask you this as we go into January and into this new year, what if we lived each day in total gratitude for our body, our human being? What if we lived each day in total gratitude for our mind, all of our experiences, including the heavens that we experience and the hells that we experience? What if we embraced the whole contrasting experience each day? So what if this year you decided to be grateful for all your experiences every time you open your eyes and start a new day? The wonder of it, the beauty of it, the curiousness of it, the love of it all, the gratitude of it, the gratitude of your eyes opening. And you can find wonder and love in all of the contrast. It's not just the things that feel good, because the things that don't feel good are really showing you somewhere where you can expand and you can create a new perspective, and you can maybe dissolve a story, or you can really just grow from that experience and see the truth of it and see where it's trying to grow you on some level. And you can really find wonder and love in all of that, all of those experiences. And, you know, they're simply leading you to new discoveries about yourself. And life does not hold us in any particular place or experience just to torture us. And often when we are in that energy of, you know, wanting to escape from this human experience because it's too hard, we can think that life is doing this to us. We can think that we're the victim. And I was in victim mindset for years and probably decades. Life is doing this to me, poor me. I can't do anything to fix that because life is doing that to me. I just don't want to be experienced within that life. I'm just going to numb myself. Life does not hold us in any experience just for the heck of it. Life will follow what story you are telling it and what story you are telling yourself. So if you're telling yourself that you are having an awful human experience, then you are creating it. And I agree. I can feel all the comments like, how do you know what I'm going through, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Because I was there, and I still get there sometimes. But I can tell the difference now. And I know that I'm just telling myself a story and that life is to that story. And the only way I can become aligned and get back to a state of heaven here on earth is to change my story. And I can promise you this, as soon as you begin to tell a different story in your own life, a different experience will become reality for you. I can promise you that. So I invite you to think about really becoming a whole being this year, embracing all of the physical experience you're having here as a human, loving yourself, your body, your mind, your ideas, your gifts, your environment, and also really embracing all of the spiritual side of yourself, and really loving all of your gifts and your intuitive insights, your connection. Celebrate life. Celebrate the whole being that you are. Celebrate your physical and your spiritual sides. Align with the whole of you. For you are the universe. You are existence itself. And you are love. Now, the one thing that I would recommend if you need to escape from mind chatter is meditation. Meditation is a place of peace, and it's a space where you're not really escaping the physical. What you're doing is escaping that mind chatter, which often leads you to those stories and those ideas and those thoughts that, life is not working for you. So if you can escape into at least 15 minutes a day of either quiet meditation or drift away with some beautiful music, which is what I do, it really will ease your mind, get you out of that hamster wheel of mind chatter. And it will also then, once you're out of that mind chatter, it will give you the space and it will give you the inspiration to create a new story and to find deeper meaning and connect with the love that you are. So 15 minutes a day of meditation can really change everything, because it just steps you out of that mind chatter that is keeping you in a holding pattern, and it allows you to see the expansiveness that you are, and it allows new ideas to come in, which help you then create new stories. I have a beautiful meditation on my website that you can grab for free at trishrock.com if you want to download that one. And I've also got a whole array of meditations on my YouTube channel and on my website for peace, for calm, for connecting with your spirit guides. I've got a whole lot of chakra meditations. So there's plenty there for you to look up and make it a practice just to do one each day. I've got some very short ones there, even some 5-minute chakra ones. So even start with that. It doesn't really matter. Just do something to really create that space in your mind, to allow a new perspective to come in, to allow you to embrace all of who you are in the physical and the spiritual. And you will find this year there's a really beautiful energy this year of being able to let go of any addictive behavior, and whether that is actually drugs or alcohol, food, sugar, sex, right? TV. There's all sorts of ways that we escape. We've got an opportunity this year with the energies to really clear those, because we're being called to become that whole person. and not to want to escape from the truth of who we are. So what a great time to start now at the beginning of the year, to perhaps even just identify what it is you do to escape, and it's even just identifying it and having the intention to change it will bring you opportunity to change it. And perhaps this podcast is just lighting up one little spark in you that you won't take action on until the end of the year, maybe 5 years' time. It doesn't really matter. We never finish. Everything's always in divine timing. But I do invite you to explore this a little bit in your own life, and just ask yourself if you're really being present to the moment in full physical experience and full spiritual experience, and really feeling the alignment of that. All right. All the links are in the description, and I'd also invite you to take a look at a beautiful group that I run. It's my Inner Circle private membership group. It's called the High Vibe Happiness Hub, and it's a wonderful group of like-minded people, and we all come together, we help each other out, and I offer mentoring and guidance whenever you need it. And it's a fantastic landing space for you. It's a beautiful sacred space where you can be vulnerable, and we all just reach out and hold you while you are needing it. And all of the members have experienced such amazing growth in this group. I'm so proud of them all. And if you're ready to change things up a bit this year and to really create some new stories that are serving you, then click on the link for the hub and check it out. So you'll find all the descriptions in the all the links in the description, and wherever you're watching this, please subscribe and like and share, and there might be someone you know that needs this message right now. You can find me on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, along with many other platforms. And I've got an amazing library of interviews from the last 3 years on my website and my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for listening today, and I will see you soon.